Welcome back, it's Sam from Fine Watch Club Media. So, spoiler alert and full disclosure before we get into it, this Daytona sold the day after we shot most of this footage. Call it an occupational hazard, and certainly worse problems to have. As you'll see, I really enjoyed putting this one together, so waste not, want not, enjoy. Welcome back to Fine Watch Club Media. Today, Stuttgart engineering meets Geneva craftsmanship. I'm spending some time with two modern retro icons. This Porsche 996 911 and this Rolex Cosmograph Daytona 116523. Yeah, okay, I am self-indulging maybe just a little bit. As days go, today is a particularly good day for me. Whilst the link might be slightly tenuous, bear with me. Talking of tenuous links, it seems appropriate to note that Hans Wilsdorf, the Rolex founder, was born in Germany, which is where the Porsche comes from. The Rolex Daytona. What else can we say? The original waiting list watch, the famous racing track in Florida, the world capital of speed, Paul Newman, and what was once the most expensive wristwatch ever to sell at auction. Now it's the third and the only Rolex in the top 10. The rest are by Patek Philippe. Fetched nearly $18 million back in 2017. Interestingly, Rolex struggled to gain traction with the Daytona in the 1960s, but the famous wearer would significantly increase its popularity during the 1980s. The Porsche 911, whilst early sketches were a few years prior, the 911 launched in 1964. The Rolex Daytona, whilst available in Cosmograph form, prior to the Daytona going on the dial, it was some few months after the 911's release that the Rolex Daytona was launched, with Daytona on the dial. The term Cosmograph seems seldom used these days, a word of course created by the marketing geniuses at Rolex, first appearing in the 1950s to describe a watch with a moon phase and a calendar complication. Cosmograph is now solely used for the Daytona, earning the superlative chronometer label thanks to its deviation of just +2 seconds per day. This example we have here is a 2005 full set on oyster bracelet white dial. I think this is a particularly versatile configuration, suitable for many occasions. So this is a 2002 911 Carrera, 6-speed manual, probably the best for driver interaction, having the manual 6-speed box, naturally aspirated 6-cylinder boxer engine, 316 brake horsepower, 272 pound-foot of torque, 60 in its day, just under 5. I think it's not lost too much horsepower. So 2002, certainly an era for Porsche whereby there was no Apple CarPlay, there was no reversing cameras, not even any parking sensors. Definitely the manual is the right one to have in this one for me. Again, just having that throw of the gear shift, whilst it is quite long in this car. It's another little interaction that you're making with the vehicle. Maybe a bit like a hand-winding watch would be. You are making a lot of manual input when you are trying to get the Porsche around a nice twisty road in the countryside. The steering wheel is quite large, it feels quite large, but what's really nice about it is it's nice and thin. So many steering wheels, really thick, and this feels just right. Driving position's good, I'm 6'1". This is perfect for me. I do feel nice and low down, good visibility. And as I said before, this 3.6 litre naturally aspirated engine, the sweet spot is about 4,000 revs. And I think it is the Porsche then becomes so recognisable at that rev range. It's so unmistakable. If we just didn't have a bus in the way. So this one has had the PCCM upgrade, straight from Porsche factory. Full Apple CarPlay. Onto Spotify. Play Daytona. Play Daytona by Russ Chimes. Interestingly, driving this 911 makes me feel a little bit old and also like a child again. A little bit old because, my goodness me, it is a bit of a workout, especially in slow-moving city traffic. The steering is very heavy, takes a little bit of getting used to. The clutch is heavy. I'm used to driving a manual, a much more modern manual, but once you get an open road, it all starts to make sense, especially when it's warm. When the engine's got up to temperature, it's a very different drive than it is from the first 5 minutes off of a cold start. Today is a good day. So it makes me feel old because it's a workout, but makes me feel young because, well, it makes me feel like a child. It's a Porsche 911. It is a sports car, you know, perhaps the most versatile of sports cars. The straight up Carrera and maybe that sweet spot in the range. Miles to the gallon is certainly not unheard of. In terms of what we've been averaging today, 20.5. So not bad really when a lot of that has been launching and ragging it about some country lanes in the North Norfolk coastline and the North Norfolk countryside. There you got a light boy! Whilst a number of changes have been made to both the 911 and the Rolex Daytona over the years, the original blueprint, that design, remains very much the same, making the Rolex Daytona and the Porsche 911 instantly recognisable to those with even a remote interest. Rolex's only chronograph and Porsche's only 2+2 high-performance sports car. Superlative chronometer. Hello?